Chris, you had a little spidey sense yesterday that the switch from man to zone helped the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
When you went back and watched the all-22 snap by snap, did you feel vindicated on that?
Well, I did, and you helped me out.
I usually have the numbers
on
here
the
to be
Monday,
like,
pulling
yes,
them
Chris,
up and
your
back
eyes aren't lying to you.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I like I always say, I rely on spidey senses. I don't know how to work most of the grading sites to figure out. Wait, what? Like, I see you do it, and I'm like, at some point I have to ask.
We'll
you,
spend
what
a half
are you
hour
doing to pull things up that quickly.
I just run filters. So, like, for me, it's like I want to see this team, what they're doing on third downs in the third quarter.
Right.
And that's a really deep example.
Right,
I don't sit there and do that for all of them. But when you have things that you see on tape, it's like, okay, let's see if it's not analytics. It's just tracking.
Let's see if the numbers match up to what I'm seeing here.
And they usually do.
I gotta get better at doing that stuff. But yeah, my spidey senses were right about the Sunday night game. Certainly, the Chiefs did play more big people on the defensive side of the ball, more 3 linebacker sets, definitely more zone. The Lions took an approach of playing big people on offense for the majority of the football game. I thought that was interesting. We'll talk about that as we go on, too, because I think at some point, if I was them, I would have got off of that a little bit.
Right.
But, yes, I mean, the bottom line is the Chiefs continue to amaze me with answering the bell, answering the challenge. And I've always said this, oh, no, how can the Chiefs really beat the 49ers in the run game in the Super Bowl? Well, yeah, they've done it twice. Oh, can the Chiefs, can they handle the Eagles and not get overpowered? Well, they beat them once. Now, I know the other time they got overpowered. I got that. But, yeah, they bring it. That's what I'm saying. And they brought it in this football game, and I think it caught Detroit by surprise a little bit. And if you really ask me, and I know you saw my notes, Detroit's game plan was, we are going to overpower the Chiefs.
That's right.
We are going to do that. We think we can. We're going to come out and do that. It couldn't have been more apparent if you turn on the film and watch it with 2 and 3 tight end sets, an unbalanced line, an extra lineman, and all that. They really thought they were going to line up and overpower them, and not so fast, my friend. The Chiefs, of course, Spags and everybody else answers the bell in a big way.
Right, and the Lions, they are typically one of the teams that they'll be at the top in terms of 12 personnel.
They will,
tight end on the field. But in this game, Chris, they were in 12 or 13.
Yeah,
3
13,
tight ends personnel 54% of the time.
And that's high for them.
That's high for anyone doing that in the
Right.
sport. And this usually 11 personnel, you're hovering 70 to the higher side, like McVay over the years and some other coaches. O'Connell will be 91%.
Right.
That's really high.
Right.
So for a team to be playing with multiple tight ends more than half their offensive snaps, and like you said, it's not that that's a problem because Lions are really good at that. That's why they have Sam Laporta and these different guys. It's that they didn't adjust out of it enough when they probably needed to.
That's what it is. And don't get me wrong here. I would have taken the same approach if I'm the Lions.
Sure.
There's the thing I questioned about the Chiefs too. I've questioned it every week. I just go, I don't know if this D-line's quite the same as what it used to be. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to stop the run like we've seen Spags and that defense do for so long. But, man, they proved me wrong. And, yeah, I do think the Lions should have changed, especially in the second half. They continue to stay with it, and you're down 10 points, and you're like, no, it's over now. Let's try a new thing here. And it's what we talked about a little on Monday. The Chiefs, here's one area I think that I probably underestimated with the Chiefs, right, is that, yeah, they're not real big, but they have a lot of versatility and a lot of depth. They throw fresh bodies at you on the D-line. I think that's one thing probably I've underestimated. We know Dana, Noddy, Chris Jones, Karlaftis start. But then you get into, Norman Lott, he's pretty good. All right, Tillery, he gets in there and has some good snaps, right? Amenu, Herring. I mean, it goes on to where you just go, okay, yeah, there's some big bodies here that help their football team out, certainly. And so I think I've underestimated that. But the real key to this game, more than anything, was the 3 linebackers. The 3 linebackers. They played really well. They're extremely athletic. They're the three linebackers in football where you can keep them on the field and go, yeah, they might throw the ball here, but these guys can cover. They can run. Yeah. Leo Chenal and Nick Bolton early in the football game were everywhere. Drew Tranquil had his moments as well, but I'm just talking about early in the game. I mean, they make a lot of plays. And, of course, with their defensive linemen, and they do a good job of rotating so they got a fresh body in there all the time. And then the linebackers' abilities to what I call read keys, right? Because, hey, Detroit's one of those teams that they give you a lot of different stuff. Hey, look, we're going to fake it over here and do this over here. Oh, but we're running up the middle.
Right.
And then the linebacker takes a few wrong steps, and he's like, oh, no, they're running right at me, and now I got a blocker on me, and they run for 20 yards up the middle, right? The way they teach keys, I don't even know if I could fully explain it, but they're all over it, and they read and diagnose plays so fast to where Jahmyr Gibbs gets the ball, and he's in the hole, and you go, well, Leah Chanel's in the hole already. He's already there. It's too late. Nick Bolton's there already. Spags taught them what to look at on this certain play with this personnel, and they see it right away, and they go, oh, I'm not faking. I'm not going to go for all the window dressing. I know the ball's going to be over here somewhere. So that's what I'm impressed with, and that to me was really one of the keys of the game. Them with the 3 linebackers and them changing it up with the zone coverage that we pointed out on Monday morning too.
And to the point about the linebackers, they were 5th in the NFL this week of having a 4-3 front, like having those 3 linebackers on the field,
right.
But they also went 3-3-5 over 11% of the time.
Yeah.
So even when they wanted the extra defensive back out there, they would take the down defensive lineman off the field to keep the 3 linebackers.
Linebacker on there.
Yeah, what is the advantage to that? Because the 3-3-5, you don't see the usage of it very high in the NFL. Like if a team is running 3-3-5 20% of the time, that's very high.
3-3-5 can definitely change up certain looks, right? You can still go 3 down linemen, put the linebackers over the guards, and all of a sudden you go, hey, we're in a 5-man front. You can do overload blitzes. You can maybe go, hey, 3 linemen kick towards the tight end side, right? We got 2 other linebackers behind you on that side, and then we might bring one of those weak ones off the weak side there to where we can slant and play the 2 tight ends to the right, and we can overload that side, yet we still have a guy on the backside to help with the cutback run or the bootleg or whatever else, right? I think it's another good way of just going, we're getting fast, we're a little worried about you passing the ball here, but we're still feel good if you run it up the middle. We'll still have enough big people in here to stop the run game and not get totally gashed.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And with those 3 linebackers, and I know I said to you before the show, right, they're one of these teams where when I look at a film like that, I sit there and go, I might not match personnel so much if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs. Like if it's 2nd and 5, and the team brings in 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back, 11 personnel like we call it. With that group right there, I might go, we'll keep our base defense in.
Sure.
We can do it. Those 3 all can run, right? You don't want them playing man-to-man against certain guys. We get that, so you got to adjust that. Like if it's an unbelievable tight end or an unbelievable back out of the backfield, like, okay, yeah, you got to maybe play zones. But I think with them, in that would be something I dabble in a little bit. Oh, it's 2nd and 6, and we're playing the Chargers. Chargers might put in 3 receivers, but we know they might run the ball still.
The ball, yeah.
So let's have some big people in so we don't get beat in the run game. But yet we feel pretty good that they can drop into a zone and whatever else and rally or read the quarterback's eyes and make the passing lane small or whatever else. And if I'm them, that's something that I would definitely tinker with a little bit more.
And isn't that, kind of the point of having a true tranquil player out there as a third linebacker?
Exactly
because
right.
of what he can do.
He can almost be like a big
overhang,
nickel.
Yes.
Right. He can do that. Him and Leo Chenal can kind of do both of it because both of them can really run. I mean, they really can. And, of course, Nick Bolton can really run too. And then Cook at safety can really run. So in that middle part of the defense at the 2nd/3rd level, they have some holes sometimes, but you go, man, that hole closes in a hurry with those guys around there. That's what you like about it. Right. So I understood the Lions' approach, what I said. Right. But Kansas City had a good move off of it. And then them playing zone, I think certainly threw a little bit of a wrench into the Lions. And again, I don't want to sit here and downplay what the Lions did.
Right.
Because let's not forget, the biggest play of the game, they were up 10-6, kind of in field goal range. And if Amon-Ra Brown catches a slant route that he catches 99 out of 100 times, you go, whoa, they're going to put pressure on the Chiefs right here on this drive. That was a huge moment of the game. But for a team that functions at such a high level offensively, yeah, they hit more bumps in the road this week, and a little bit of that is because of Spags and what they did. And I think that the Lions in the 3rd and 4th quarter, for my money, handcuffed themselves a little bit in the 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets.
And did it feel like Chris Jones had a little more fire on tape after that tough last play against Jacksonville?
Without a doubt. He definitely had plays where he was disruptive in the backfield, dominated. Might not have got the tackle or whatever else, but there was definitely moments of that for sure. And they played as a motivated, physical football team.
Who's the best player on this defense? Because it feels like more of the Spartan unit rather than the one lead commander.
I think that's right. McDuffie's the best player for me. McDuffie's the guy that he can cover the best receiver on the team. He can play slot nickel. He's a phenomenal blitzer. He's a phenomenal tackler in the run game, tackling. Right? So I look at him and go, that's the best player on the defense with, like you said, a bunch of other really good. I'm not sure if anybody's a superstar anymore, but a bunch of really good. So that's I mean, listen, they're smart, they're creative, they change it up, they do all that, right? But let's hit on the Lions a little bit and why they should have gone 11 personnel. For my money.
And they really didn't floor it on that until they had to at the end.
Yes.
Like you look at the 11 personnel, went up in the second half because it was like, oh shit, we got to make up some points and we can't play our pace.
Right.
Like I always say, like the Lions and the Broncos are two teams that to me, they always want to dictate the pace of the game, and they're really good at it.
Yes.
They're like, oh, if we want a rock fight today, it'll be a rock fight.
Right.
If we want a shootout today,
that's right.
Broncos not lately, but we think Sean Payton at some point can find the Lions can be in a shootout, and they could survive that way. And it felt like the Lions at the end of this game were like, oh, we are not dictating the pace of this play.
Definitely not. And then they continued to kind of stay with what they were doing, and which I just at some point, especially like I said, late in the third quarter, I just go, well, wait, you're not doing what you just talked about. You're not dictating tempo. You're not dominating the football game with what the approach is. They are playing 4-3 a lot and getting into 5-man fronts and playing big people. Let's change it up. Let's change it up a little bit. And within that, I don't know why. Now, 11 personnel, you go 3 receivers and you get in passing. We know Spag can be very creative with blitzes and different looks and all that. But you got a quarterback who's really good at handling that stuff. He reads the field really well. If I was the Lions, I at some point in the third quarter would have gone, okay, we're not running the ball real good today, right? They can do some creative stuff, but can they really handle Amon-Ra, Jameson, Laporta, and let's say Tesla or, what's the other damn quick receiver they got? I'm blanking on his damn name, the punt returner. Hold on.
Is it still
Khalif Raymond? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like at some point I would have tested that out and gone, okay, play zone on this. Let me see. We got a lot of good zone. Oh, wait, you want to play man? I think one of our guys in this matchup are going to win against one of your guys. We might not be able to beat McDuffie, but the other two guys, like, we think Amon-Ra can beat whoever else, and we think Khalif Raymond or Tesla could beat somebody else, or Laporta could beat the safety man-to-man. I thought they let Kansas City off the hook there in that way and not kind of just going, okay, what we didn't work. Let's attack a different way. Let's unveil the passing offense, and let's see if they can handle our heat in the passing game and the receivers and all we got. I thought they never really adjusted, like you said, until it was like we're down 13 and the game's kind of over.
And even further to enhance your point, Jahmyr Gibbs had one snap away from the backfield. He played one snap in the slot. He feels like a guy that maybe you move around a little bit more. And he can't walk out of the game with 2 targets, 1 catch, and no receiving yards.
No way.
Jahmyr Gibbs, you and I recapped this week the Falcons with the way they use Bijan Robinson in both the run and pass game. Like Gibbs needs to be, and we've seen this from Gibbs. It's not like, but this is a game where he needs
stay in your
that.
2 or 3 tight end sets. If they're playing 3 linebackers, get in an empty formation. Now put Jahmyr Gibbs in the slot.
Right, move him out.
Right. To me, this was a game also with the fact that that Kansas City was keeping the 3 linebackers in. I'm usually one that sits here and goes, give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball a lot. There wasn't a lot of holes. This was a David Montgomery. Let him smash it in there for 4 yards a bunch. They didn't do that either. So, I thought their read in the game and how it was going was not as spot on as it usually is with the Detroit Lions. And they usually do adjust to the right things and felt like they didn't in this one for whatever reasons. I would love to ask John Morton, like, why did you stick with the 2 and 3 tight end personnel so much? Sometimes offensive coordinators do that because we've talked about this. It quiets down a creative defense because they go, wait, I like this blitz, but if I bring this blitz and they run this play with 2 or 3 tight ends over here, we're not going to have enough people. So it makes everybody be gap sound as far as a D coordinator. They go, oh, let's just be simple and make sure we got guys so we don't get overpowered. That was something that I think John Morton would probably reevaluate the next time he plays the Chiefs. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.